It's Don here from the board. Thank you for coming on and checking out another one of our videos. Today, I'm going to be looking at a keyboard wrist rest. Now, several weeks ago, I had actually come across a wrist rest locally made in Australia by a company called MadeByAllen. Now, this was actually introduced to me from a Slack group that I was in where someone had taken a free shipping offer for anywhere around the world, and it got me really interested because they were talking about how this particular wrist rest swivels. And I thought, how does a wrist rest swivel? What is the purpose of its swivel? And it got me thinking, so I looked up the website and I thought, you know what, that looks actually pretty cool. So I gave them a bit of a shout out on our podcast, and I sent them a message saying, came across you guys, happy to give you guys a shout out and a promo and whatnot. And MadeByAllen actually came back to me and said, we're happy to send you a review unit if you want to do a video and a review. And so here it is. Now, I do apologize, Alan, that I know that you sent it to me ages ago, and I just haven't got around to doing the review until now because of everything happening with the Sydney meetup and new people at work that I've had to sort of induct and go through and everything else. But it is here. It is still in its package. It's a good size, as you can see, right? And we're going to go through it. But first, of course, before we actually do, let's have a look at what the promo material says about it online, and then we'll open up the package and see how it compares to what is promised on the internet. So let me switch off that, and there's the website, madebyallen.com, and what we're looking at is the Node wrist rest. Even comes with a video, which I'm just going to play here quickly for you, so you don't have to if you don't want to, but here we go. Now I realize, of course, by me doing so, you guys aren't necessarily going to go and check out the video yourself and bump up the view counts and whatnot on his particular video and channel. However, hey, there's nothing wrong with going over and checking out yourself and just rewatching if you like the features. Not to mention it's got a pretty cool sort of backing track on it as well. So, let's see if it has much other details. Just heading over to the shop. So we're looking at, it's $29 on offer, and it has a couple of dimensions there as well: 30 centimeters by 12 by 2.5 when closed, 30 by 31.5 by 2.5 when open. So it's in matte black and for 60% keyboards, and it has subtle engraving branding on the bottom right. So it looks pretty cool from the pictures, and let's see how it stacks up in person. All right, so thank you very much for sending it in a really, feels like there's a bit of bubble wrap in there as well. Give it a bit of protection. Satisfying rip, of course. Oh, it's not bubble wrap, it's those air tubes. Air tubes. Check it out. I love air tubes. And here we go. So he's left me a nice little message as well. Just peeling off some of this adhesive tape. It's written a nice little card, and happy to show that, of course. Hey Don, hope you enjoy the Node. Thank you for the support. No, thank you, Alan, for sending it to us. And always happy to shout out for anybody out there in the community who has either keyboard related or even not keyboard related stuff, because as we've said, the Board Podcast is all about the community, helping out the community, and we're not for profit. So why not? Now, I do find it really interesting down here in the corner. It says 12, which means this could be possibly the 12th one that he's sold or sent out. If it is, that's pretty cool. If it isn't, well, I don't know. It would be lovely, of course, to be able to see more of these go out if, of course, they actually come up to scratch. Now, just having a look on the screen over here, of course, it doesn't actually talk about the weight. It doesn't talk about the weight of the keyboard, but it does say, of course, the prices are in USD. So, I'm going to pull out my little scales. Let's just move my full size a little bit here. And let's see what it comes out to. Now, of course, the display is really hard to see on the camera angle, but you're just going to have to trust me when I tell you the value it reads. Let's take that off. It's got a nice little slip that says thank you, enjoy the Node wrist rest, not on the back. And here it is. First look. It's very smooth. It's matte, it's not glossy, and the subtle branding that they're talking about down here is there, the Node. Flipping it over, I think, okay, it looks like, what is this? There's a chocolate, I think. Yes, so there's some milk flavored chocolate straws. Thank you very much for that. I guess I'll have that maybe with morning or afternoon tea later at some point. Flipping it over, you can see it's acrylic and it's glossy. So it does, of course, promise what it is, and it's got these. They look like stick-on feet. Initially, it kind of looked almost like hot glue, but does not seem to be the case. And I suspect that's also to help hold the magnets. There is a swivel screw here, and then there's a sort of finger hole that you can get a bit of purchase on to help you with that slide. Now, of course, I'm going to go back here and turn my scales back on again, tear it to 0, and careful balancing act. It's about 210 grams is what my scales say. Doesn't really want to stand up very well. Let's see if I can get it. Oop, shit. Is it going to go that way? Yeah, it's about 210 grams. So if I switch that over to ounces, I don't know what the conversion is, but we'll see very soon. It's about 72 ounce, roughly, thereabouts. So, yeah. Just going to switch my scales back so I don't get messed up for the next time I use it. 210 grams, about 72 ounces. It's pretty lightweight. Before I actually swivel and sort of click it open, just want to feel how much flex it's got. Okay, so it's got a reasonable amount of flex because it is acrylic. Just be aware of that. If you do want to take it traveling with you, then that's something that you just need to be aware that it could potentially get damaged because it is just acrylic. It's a couple of mil thick. And of course, here we go with the swivel. Oh, there you go. Nice. There is a very satisfying loud click on that on the magnets. Now, does it only go one way? No, it goes both ways. And holding that up, you can hear it click into place. So that's pretty nifty. Now, it is of course designed primarily for 60% keyboards, and you can kind of see that based over my full size, but it doesn't mean that you can't use it for a full size. So I'm just gonna shuffle things on my table upwards a little bit, and there you go. You can see how that is. Okay, all right. The surface it's a nice feel. That textured matte, you can feel it, and it doesn't feel like my wrist is going to stick to it. Whereas I would say that if it was a glossy surface, there is probably a chance that it might actually sort of stick. The angle is interesting. Oh, hello. What are you trying to do? Hey, you want to come up? All right, come on. Yeah. There you go. You wanna try the wrist rest as well? No. Okay. So the angle I feel is a little bit low for my personal preference. I'll show you in a second again once I actually pull it back out from underneath the keyboard, but we'll get back to that point. There's a little bit of flex. Now that's not really an issue because you shouldn't be pressing down upon a wrist rest that hard anyway, but if you are somebody who is inclined to push in, you will feel a bit of flex. Now the flex doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel like it's going to snap or break the wrist rest, and you can sort of see I'm giving a bit of force and press, but it seems to be okay. Seems to be all right. In terms of movement, so the whole rig's moving because my camera is suspended by an arm, but the magnets have a bit of give. They'll wiggle a bit, but the whole thing's actually quite solid because the feet are quite tacky against my smooth table surface. I don't know what it's going to be like on a desk mat because obviously I don't have a full-size desk mat here at the moment. Yeah, okay. I would say probably a little bit higher might be nicer just for my personal preferences because I am used to a little bit sort of thicker in actual angle. All right. Of course, it doesn't impact using the rest of the keyboard if you're floating anywhere and not using a wrist rest. But it would be nice to see perhaps in the future if there was demand for a full size or even a TKL version. Now, of course, if you do want to see a TKL version or even a full size version, please get onto Allen's website and let him know that you want to see that. And then, of course, he would take that into consideration and develop or produce the larger size versions. Yeah. So I'm just going to pull this back out. And let's just have a look at that angle again. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty nifty in that way. If we look down, well, if you try and look down it, I can't really see it very well because obviously the camera's kind of getting in the way a little bit. There's the screw there, and you can kind of see the angle is quite sharp. The profile height is only about 2.5 centimeters, and because it's very short, it does have quite a steep angle drop there. I'm just gonna fold that over again so it's a little bit more compact. So if I just get my ruler out and we have a look, yeah, it's pretty much 2.5, so it's about 1 inch high as promised, but the drop angle is quite fast in that sense. The actual overall sort of length there, as said on the website, is 12 centimeters. So it's an alright depth for my desk. I'd probably say some people might not want that much depth on it, especially because when you do rest your wrist on it, you'll see that only really half is being utilized by my hand, which is kind of why I was saying if I was further down, it feels a bit on the low side. The acrylic itself is quite thick. Let's just have a measure on the acrylic. So it's looks like it's 2 mil acrylic, which is great. It's firm, but you can still see like it does have a bit of flex and give on that as well. So yeah, I don't know if there's really terribly much more to say. Okay, just having a quick look at the screw on the back. The profile height of it is just shorter than the actual feet. Of course, that's very important, otherwise that's going to be grinding on your table surface and wearing and possibly damaging your table surface or your mat. But I think he's done alright with that. The feet probably could be a little bit higher, or you could possibly even have additional feet as well, because otherwise this base portion now also has a slight angle to it, because it's obviously going to be resting on the feet. And then, yeah, so you see my ruler sort of pretending to be a table surface. You're going to have that bit of gap as well, which could cause the bottom plate to flex a little bit and make your keyboard feel a bit more mushy. I don't know, maybe that's a good way of describing it. Overall, I think that's really nice. The click feature is very cool. I really do like that. It's acrylic, so it's nice and warm to the touch. It's not, you know, going to be cold on a cold day, whatnot. And as a matter of fact, I've even got a digital thermo here. So my desk surface is 21 and the wrist rest is 22. So yeah, look at that. The desk is 21.2 and the wrist rest, oh, what was I zapping? Yeah, it's 22. 21.9. There you go. Pretty cool. What I would like to see, perhaps for future iterations, future versions, would be other options, either aluminium or steel or even brass, maybe, just for that extra weight, and it, of course, has a premiumness to it. Price would naturally go up with that, as well as shipping cost, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be interested. Wood would also be a really great option. It would just simply be a matter of how you would get that swivel mechanism to work. The slide feature is pretty cool. It is compact, but as I expressed a little bit earlier in the video, my only concerns about it being the acrylic is if you do put this in your bag and you're traveling and it does get crushed, the acrylic has a chance of snapping as opposed to, say, a metal or a wood version. Overall, very, very nifty. Oh, is that a... Okay. So, now of course, this is by no means a reflection on the design, but it's simply a manufacturing issue. But you can see that there's been a little bit of a warp bump there on the acrylic. So the QCs possibly missed that when they've actually bent and folded that acrylic. And you can see the mark on the inside where it's been heated and bent over. So there it is. There's the Node wrist rest, made by Allen. It's available right now from the website, $30 US plus shipping. Built for 60%, but certainly usable for any other larger size formats as well. So thank you very much for sending it over to me, Alan. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take this to work and check it out and see how it fits at my workstation. Unfortunately, I can't really take pictures, but I'll let you know anyway. And for everyone else who's actually come along and checked out the video today, thank you. I hope that you'll have a chance to check out the website and think about it if you're looking for a swivel wrist rest. How you doing? Hey, mesmerized by the camera? Are you going to say bye-bye this time? Oh, she's waving, but it's off the camera. There you go. Bye-bye. She's getting better at a royal wave, the queen wave. So, as usual, of course, until next time, have your clacking.